So Shonen Jump, as always, likes to put out a couple of new series every now and then, around about, like, as I say, to the six to 9 months, like, from other old series, depending how successful they are. And we've had some pretty goddamn interesting new, like, lineups from the start. We've got a new sports series, and we've got another, what seems to be sort of shonen action series from what we've seen from the first part. And I especially wanted to talk about this one, like, Golem Hearts, after 2 chapters, as I absolutely adore this world, some of the characters that we've met, and the pretty emotional second chapter as well from what we got to see from this thing. So I'm going to be giving a little bit of the two chapter like impressions, and basically hoping that this series does well, considering that it's very difficult like to be in the Shonen Jump lineup and even survive. So a lot of the time when there are potentials that in this magazine, they normally don't survive too long because Shump are assholes. So from these 2 chapters, our 2 main characters are Noah, a little boy who's actually this magical thing known as a golem, and Lamech, who is the man who created him. And you're asking, what are golems, especially in this world? Golems are these slave-like beings from how everyone else likes to handle them. Are these magical like beings that basically just do everyday chores to people. It's like they'll do the washing up, they'll do the heavy lifting, they use the military services, cooking, cleaning, like, and basically has people saying like they lack wills of their own and they simply obey the commands of their owner, and they're taking, you know, root in everyday life. Like, they're so useful and all that, and like, how would we get along without them? And Lamech is one of the people who seemingly has created a human version where, like, it has a will. Like, Noah is a golem, but he has a will of his own, and he's honestly just a good-hearted kid from what we see from the chapter. He just wants to help people, but he's not very good at it. The same thing with Lamech. Lamech's not a very good, like, sorcerer, like, for the Golem Arts. He keeps fucking up, and, like, you can see, like, no matter what, like, people are very wary, like, of, like, Noah. There's clearly something up with that fucking kid. It's really, like, creepy, like, about him. And it's like, hey man, like, he's just trying to help though. Lamech's like, yeah, just keep doing like good things, man. You'll keep pushing through no matter what. Like, and it's like this, I will say this immediately, with the art style, and definitely with that, it reminds me of really old, just like shonen shows from the 90s and like kind of like on. It really reminds me of that kind of like. Normally, like, I feel like a lot of the art styles that we get to see through a lot of shows try to be a lot more edgy and a lot more kind of for like the teenagers going like, you know, like go to that Tokyo Ghoul kind of like mentality where it's like, let's go, like, we need to be a lot more edgy because that's what people really enjoy. But this like kind of reminds me just like just going back to the 90s, maybe into late 80s kind of shows where it's like, yeah, we're all magical and happy for the most part. Well, chapter 1 is like that. Chapter 2 is a little bit more definitely depressing, but from what we get to see, like, immediately, like, how the chapter takes off, because, like Noah's like, I'm gonna help this guy who's got these really rare crates and all that, well, just full of magic shit, and there's an asshole on this fucking, like, piece of shit land that's like, I'm gonna fuck these things up, and plus, I've got some shit I want to have here as well, like, you know, I've got some things to take care of, and basically, pretty much put it on Noah, because Noah's like, oh, I moved them last night, that was me, even though it was this asshole that fucked them all up. And it's like, the guy loses his shit, calling him like, you know, you're a piece of shit, you're useless, and like, Lamech has to get on his knees and just like apologize. It's like, he's like, I'm so sorry and all that, like, kid and everything. It's like, and he's there, and it's just like, you know, like, hey kid and all that, today's been a failure, but don't let it get to you. Like Lamech is such a happy guy. It's like, and I love him for it, because it's like, you know, that like, you know, you shouldn't have that sad face, you know, that doesn't suit you. Smile like that, you know, all the more reason to keep smiling if you fail, like, you know, no matter what and all that. You know, at the very least and all that, like, every day I spend with you, know, it's fun, no doubt about it. I just love it. It's like, these guys are so fucking happy. I love it. Like, I love it. And it's just like, you know, no matter what and all that, I'm going to be like, you know, we're going to keep like achieving our dreams. I'm going to become the best scholar of sorcery, and I want to be recognized and have money and good life. And then Noah, like an adorable little kid, he's like, I want to be the second best in the world, and I'll make sure that, you know, you're the best one at all, because that'll prove everyone. Like, and I love that. That was so nice to see that. And a really like heartwarming, emotional moment in this chapter is when the whole village goes to Lamech's house, and it's like, let us take care of that golem. He is fucking ruining our lives. And he's just like, you know, you ruined my cargo. That's costing me so much, like that. He's making lives in misery. And it's just like, how he is talking about that is like, we've always been creeped out by him. Who knows what it's going to do next time? And it's like, he just, the one time Lamek is so serious. It's like, you've got a daughter as well, yeah. Then how about if the towns just came in front of you and said, your daughter's a bad kid and everyone hates her, so let us kill her. What would you do? Like that. And it's just like, he considers Noah his own son, even though he's not flesh and blood. He's his own kid. And like, he's like, they're golems. They don't have emotions. They're not like that. And it's like, it doesn't matter. It's like golem or human. Noah is Noah. How can I say that? Like, with all this town folk and all that. I will protect him even if it takes my life. And it's like, and it gets interrupted because the asshole that sabotaged everything just decided to just take a kid. Like, it was the guy that was screaming at it. It's like, alright, Noah, let's go and take care of this and all that. Like, this will prove to everyone we're kind of good. As, like, the man's begging in front of our face. Like, please, man, like, take care of it. It's like, oh, this is such an easy job, like, to take care of this. Like, as he's, like, taking away, like, all these, like, rare mushrooms. And, like, he just, like, uses these golem arts and just runs, like, into it, like, accelerating. And, like, basically just takes care of this military golem with like this like level 5 art that he has, like this paladin which turns his arm into a sword. And I'm not gonna lie, like when I saw that, I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, that looks pretty sick and all that from what I've seen on there, like pretty cool ability. And that was pretty much the entirety of chapter 1. And chapter 2 is where a little bit like I got hit by a little bit of feels, especially in this chapter, because of what happened. And there is a military officer that comes to town and everything is all fine. It's been a month after the kidnapping and Noah's just being Noah. He's just a happy little kid. And what happens is that this military guy is like, I heard about Noah. This sounds interesting. He sounds really good for the military, and he's like also well got his will of his own. And he's just like, I want to see this kid. And the guy, just to test his seriously if this is the golem, just takes a knife to his fucking face, swipes it, and he's like, oh, it's really a golem, isn't it? Oh, that's pretty cool. And it's like, what the hell? If Noah wasn't a golem, what do you think would have happened? And just the way how he expresses it is like, I guess I would have been really disappointed. I would have killed him. Like, it's just like this guy just taken away from like real emotions. It's just like, I don't care. I'm not a human being. It's just like the unimaginable like power that you have here. This is amazing like that. And it's just like, and even still, this is like weapon or like, you know, army, I'm not interested. Let Noah go. He's my son. And he's like, oh no, like I just guess I'll just blow up the house then. And it's like, well, if you got no home to go back to now, I guess you gotta join the army, kid. And it's just like, what are you doing? And Lamek, like a fucking dude, just takes it and he just starts like laughing. He's like, ha ha ha, I guess I'm homeless now. Like, oh well, I've always wanted to live outside. This is gonna be fun with me and my kid. Like that. And he's like, I love like having outside. Like, thank you. And he's just like, and like the military dude just starts laughing at him. It's like, what is with this dude? He is so weird. And he's like, come on, just give me back my son, please, and all that. It's like, alright, you know, I'll give up. I'll see you later then. He's like, and it's like, rare a lot. Like, he's like, I just let him go. And he's like, nah. I can't possibly let such a rare golem go. And he's like, rare, I don't care if he's rare. Noah is family. I do not care what you think of. And unfortunately, he tries to like make this thing completely go stable by using like a golem art, like 0 on it. And it's like, oh, this thing's got a coating on it, so I can't do anything to it. And the sad truth is, he gets wrecked by this golem, and like you get to see Noah trying to fight back, and unfortunately Lamek's got like a huge chunk of just wood just sticking out of his chest, and it's just like, oh no, why we gotta have tragedy? No, this is a happy place. We're going to a bad place right now. And like, this is what I liked, because it was built up from like 2 chapters on here, and I'm gonna bring a little comparison like with this is I really like the Blue Exorcist anime for doing this as well. Like there's a similar like father-son relationship in that show, which is like I felt like is good in the manga, but it helps a lot more in like the anime when they build it up a little bit more. And I kind of like it. If it was just like 1 chapter, then we wouldn't have really known Lamek like at all, as they like, and they kind of built him up to be like a main character like from like the first 2 chapters, but they said, oh, they'll be like, by the first one they were saying, oh, they'll live a little bit happier like later on. And I still think this is gonna be a happy series, but with Noah like having a little bit of the drive about that, and it's just like he's saying like, I'm sorry Noah and all that, like, you know, you're gonna have to become the #1 for me instead and all that. I guess I'll let you catch up with me. And he's like, you know, I'm always, you know, don't worry about this and all that, like, you know, I'm always failing, but I'm getting the hang of these golem arts, you know, because Master taught me. I made a like huge process. I'll just use resurrection on you. And he's just like, kid, just stop. I can't. Like, I'm sorry. Like, just become the #1 for me about it. It just, this is just such a like a heart-wrenching moment in this chapter, and it's just like, just the general piece of shit. He's like, guess the human died. Oh well, and all that. I'll get my hands on that golem. It's all good now. Just retrieve it. And Noah loses it as he just does the like the level 5 art on him, like himself, and he's just like, this is my me and my master's house. Get out of here. And he's like just attacking this military golem and just destroying it, and just like. He's like, Master, you see, I was able to use Paladin. I knew Master was amazing and that I was able to improve this much. And it's just, that's how the chapter ends, with the two of them just on the fucking floor of their destroyed house. And it's just like, and we get to see it right at the very end of the chapter. We get to see this girl, like, kind of approaching, like, I think she was on the first chapter cover. And it's like, like, we'll see, like, what the whole deal is, like, whether or not they're going to take Noah on a journey to kind of improve himself. And I'm kind of curious to see where the story's going to go now. But over than that, I wanted to talk about the first 2 chapters, because the first 2 chapters are great so far. I felt like from what we got to see of like Noah and Lamech's kind of like a little relationship we got to see, it was heavily focusing on that. And of course, even with 2 chapters, like, even though I would have appreciated if he was a little bit longer in the story, I still think like they were a great duo, and like there were some really nice emotional moments where like, Noah is my family, how dare you talk to him like that. And it like really focused on this father-son element on these 2 chapters that were out so far, and whether or not or how the world's going to be handling, or where this like the future story is going to be going on from here, whether or not they are going to be doing, I'm going to become another sorcerer, or we're going to see other golems out there that actually are like Noah. They have free will. And I'm really worried that like all these golems do have wills, and there's going to be this really creepy slavery thing being involved into this later on. Like, it depends whether or not the show survives it long enough and all that. But I want to talk about it because I think it has a very nice, unique art style from what we've seen so far. Like, it really reminds me of just classic shonen from what we got to see of it. I love the characters so far. I really just love like how vibrant and alive the world feels already from like these 2 chapters, and I really do hope it does well. Like, from what we get to see, there's a lot of like manga that's been out recently that like out of Jump that have just like not succeeded, and like we really haven't had any real successful hits, I think, until like We Can't Study. That's like the last like newish thing that's kind of done well in the magazine, I believe. But there's been nothing really that could be like there with Academia or Clover with the new action series. Like, apart from them, there's only a very few and all that, like Kimetsu no Yaiba, and a few tiny others that have barely, like, just kind of, like, rounds the surface on there. So I hope this is something that survives on there. Like, I really, like, hope so, because, like, I really like this series. Like, it's, like, so far, like, out of the new stuff, out of that, and the Table Tennis series, I think this is my favourite out of them so far, and I hope it survives. But we'll have to wait and see. And the question is whether or not you enjoy this, and if you'd like me to keep talking about this series, because I like it so far, I really do. But that's all from me and from Golem Heart, so thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you guys, though, next time.